The Black Death, also known as the bubonic plague, is caused by a bacterium called Yersinia pestis. It mainly spreads when fleas that are infected with this bacterium bite people. These fleas first bite animals like rats that are already infected, and then bite humans, passing on this microorganism. It can also spread when people touch the bodily fluids or tissues of sick people or breathe in tiny drops from their coughs or sneezes. This disease comes with fever, chills, weakness, and painful swollen lumps in your lymph nodes, called buboes, which is where it got its name. This disease can escalate quickly, leading to severe complications such as septicemia and pneumonia. The Black Death was a devastating pandemic, estimated to have killed around 25 million people in Europe during its peak in the 14th century. Globally, it's believed to have caused anywhere from 75 million to 200 million deaths. Smallpox is a highly contagious and often fatal infectious disease caused by the variola virus. Smallpox symptoms typically include high fever, fatigue, body aches, and a rash that evolves from red spots to fluid-filled blisters, which subsequently crust over, forming scabs before ultimately healing. The rash typically appears on the face, arms, and legs, but can spread to other parts of the body. Smallpox is highly contagious, primarily transmitted through respiratory droplets, direct contact with infected bodily fluids, or contaminated objects. The smallpox vaccine, containing a live weakened virus, was pivotal in eradicating the disease. The Spanish flu was caused by the H1N1 influenza A virus and resulted in tens of millions of deaths worldwide. This devastating pandemic often led to severe symptoms that worsened quickly, including rapid progression, especially breathing problems. Alongside typical influenza signs such as fever and cough, patients commonly experienced extreme fatigue, difficulty breathing, and bluish discoloration of the skin. The Spanish flu spread rapidly across the globe, facilitated by the movement of troops and civilians during World War I. The Spanish flu had a very high death rate, especially among young, healthy adults aged 20 to 40. Despite its name, the Spanish flu probably didn't originate in Spain. Its exact origin is uncertain. Ebola virus disease is a severe and often fatal illness. This disease is transmitted through direct contact with the bodily fluids of an infected person or animal. Additionally, it can spread through contact with contaminated surfaces and materials. Ebola causes sudden fever, weakness, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, vomiting, diarrhea, and sometimes bleeding inside and outside the body. The virus has a mortality rate of 25% to 90%. Ebola was first identified in 1976 during outbreaks in Nzara, Sudan, and Yambuku, Congo. Malaria is a serious and sometimes fatal disease caused by Plasmodium parasites. These parasites are transmitted to humans through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes. Several species can infect humans, with Plasmodium being the deadliest. Malaria symptoms commonly include fever, chills, sweats, headache, nausea, vomiting, and body aches. Severe cases may result in organ failure, severe anemia, and potentially fatal cerebral malaria if left untreated. Preventive measures for malaria include insecticide-treated bed nets, repellents, and prophylactic medication for travelers to affected areas. Tuberculosis, caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis, is an infectious disease primarily targeting the lungs but capable of affecting other organs like the kidneys, spine, and brain. This bacterium is spread through the air when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks, releasing droplets containing the bacteria into the air, which can then be inhaled by others. Symptoms of tuberculosis can include a persistent cough, chest pain, coughing up blood or sputum, weakness or fatigue, weight loss, fever, and night sweats. Tuberculosis can be latent or active. In latent TB, bacteria are present but dormant, showing no symptoms or transmission. Active TB happens when bacteria multiply, leading to symptoms. Cholera is a diarrheal infection caused by Vibrio cholerae bacteria, often spread through contaminated food or water, particularly in areas with poor sanitation and water access. Insufficient hand washing after using the toilet can contaminate surfaces or food. In areas with inadequate sanitation, human feces carrying the bacteria can pollute water sources. Seafood from polluted waters can also carry the bacteria. The incubation period for cholera can range from a few hours to 5 days after ingesting the bacteria. During this time, individuals may not exhibit symptoms, but can still spread the disease to others. Symptoms range from mild to severe and include sudden watery diarrhea, vomiting, dehydration, and leg cramps. Severe cases can be life-threatening, causing dehydration, electrolyte imbalances, and shock without prompt treatment. Leprosy, or Hansen's disease, is a chronic infectious condition caused by Mycobacterium leprae. It primarily affects the skin, nerves, and upper respiratory tract mucous membranes. Leprosy is transmitted through respiratory droplets from infected individuals. Close and prolonged contact is typically required for transmission, but not everyone exposed develops the disease. Genetic susceptibility and weakened immunity are factors in its development. This disease presents with varied symptoms, influenced by the immune response, including skin lesions, sensory loss, muscle weakness, and deformities in skin and bone. It progresses slowly over time and can lead to permanent disability if left untreated. Diagnosing leprosy relies on clinical observation of symptoms alongside laboratory assessments. Early diagnosis and treatment of leprosy are vital to prevent complications.